I created an event timeline on and posted to Facebook here using timestamps I got from the police reports, from the security cameras, from log files, etc. It's basically hard facts and evidence that we can back up, and just wrote a short description. I think this will be helpful, especially because these crimes span many years, a decade, and I think it was going on way before I even moved here, and. And so I'm sure some people will probably help them, get an idea of the timeline. But let me just start here at the top. Event timeline based on timestamps from evidence. And it was October 12th, 2008. The previous owner of my home, Mike Lawhon, died. And as y'all have seen in videos, I believe he was murdered here and taken to Fort Worth. That was the week before the 2008 oil show started. I moved in right after that. A couple of weeks later, bought the house from his widow. And then moving on it was October 2010. I made my first call for a burglary. I think that might be November. I need to fix that. November 2010. First call for a burglary. And that was just, nobody in the attic, none of that. I just recognized somebody had been in my house. And then a couple of months later, January 8th, 2011, I made my second call for a felony burglary. That time I did hear somebody in the attic. Okay. Then moving on to 2012, on the day of the murder attempt, and this will be by the minute, that'll be January 28, 2012. The YAWCAM is terminated in preparation to murder me at 8:08 p.m. What that is the software running the inside camera, and the camera that was in my bedroom. It was running from my computer using the YAWCAM software. There's a log file, and that's what it told me. It was terminated at 8:08. I'm seen crawling out at 10:42 p.m. And so basically they terminated the camera, they stole my cell phone, and they disconnected the home phone lines before shooting me. That shows premeditation. They planned on murdering me. And then the person that shot me, I didn't even know they were there. And so that shows they wasn't even in any danger. They came to my house to kill me. That's all there is to it. Absolute proof shows I wasn't shot with my gun. Back on the timestamps here at 10:42, I'm calling out. At 11:01, 19 minutes later, we see a video. You got Martin County Sheriff John Woodward, the late Midland Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor seen arriving with the spotlight going, and they're not even dispatched. One guy's a sheriff from a whole nother county, right? He's got his spotlight running, and they're not dispatched. Their names are missing from the police report. I believe they were under my house when I was shot. Okay, and then they were looking for me. 11:03 p.m. Officer April Chandler, she writes on a report, Mr. Webb caused himself to suffer a gunshot wound. And you see where she started to write that I shot myself and changed that, knowing that that was a lie. But just look at the time on it. Also at 11:03, Sergeant Matt Davis is on the scene, my house, but not seen arriving on the security cameras. That's a big deal right there, okay? Tony Dickie is inside my home, but he was not seen arriving, okay? And then Greg Chatwell and Kenny Angel are on scene, but they are not seen arriving. And Dylan Hale is on scene, but not seen arriving. So that's the big point there, is that Woodward and Naylor there 11:01, and we do see them, but then here you've got Davis, Dickie, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale, and they're not seen arriving, and one of them's inside my home, okay? And so what they did, they came from that tunnel, probably the Home Depot tunnel over here, and come from under my home, and it was somebody under my home shot me. See, I mean, this is the evidence, is what the evidence shows. And then at 11:22, the front cameras are disabled. These police were trying to cover up their crimes. That's what it was. At 11:27, the ER nurse documents me saying the alarms kept going off. These were burglar alarms in my attic. I was under a home invasion with burglar alarms going off in my home when I was shot. And then at 3:16 that morning, the next day, 1:29:12, my bedroom computer that's running the camera was manually rebooted. This was an effort to stop the camera, and it was manual. It's in the log files, in the Windows system of log files. And then as soon as it starts back up, I had that camera to start automatically without login, and so it starts taking pictures, and then police don't realize, and that's how come I got the pictures. And then the secret police are seen in my bedroom planting evidence and staging the crime scene. between 3:36 a.m. and 3:55. That's the timestamps. You see Rodriguez leaned over my nightstand where my stolen cell phone's planted. You see Chandler with the bag, and she's the one that found my voice recorder and said it was checked into evidence, and that was another lie. You know, there's so much. It's the sloppiest cover-up you could ever imagine. I mean, these corrupt police should have been in prison a long time ago. 3 days later was the second entry into my home after I signed a consent form. They come up to the hospital and says, yeah, we're going to start the investigation. And I didn't know they'd been in my home because they didn't tell me. And they didn't know they'd been caught on camera. And they weren't going to let anybody know that they'd been there that first entry, but they got caught on camera. That's what's going on. And then here, 6 years later, the private investigator collects the reward, and the secret police are identified. 11 of them were secret for 6 years. Actually, 2 of them were identified. April Chandler, Rosie Rodriguez were the 2 we recognized, but the other 9 were secret for 6 years. That's illegal, folks. I mean, that's how criminal this is. And then on the next year, 2019, I find out there was a falsified police report which had been illegally withheld from me all that time, 7 years. You know, and that's what time-stamped these police being at my home that wasn't seen arriving, you know. And then the last time I heard somebody in my attic was today. The crimes against me have never stopped. I've had thousands and thousands and thousands of crimes committed against me. I put this in here. I think I'll post this on TikTok too.